Here's our next video for interpreting quantitative information, information in ratios, and this time the ratios are in the context of risk. A study of a collegiate swim team found the risk of injury for men was 1 in 13 and for women 1 in 11. These risks double if an athlete participates for at least 3 full seasons, and the overall risk of a shoulder injury is 5%. Let's take these ratios for risk of injury and turn them into percents. Men have a 1 in 13 risk, which is about 7.7%. The risk for women is 1 in 11, about 9.1%. We could take the 5% risk of a shoulder injury and represent that in a few different ways. We know 5% is 5 out of 100, and we could simplify that fraction. 5 out of 100 equals 1/20th. 1 out of every 20 swimmers will suffer a shoulder injury. If these athletes participate for at least 3 full seasons, then their risk doubles. So we could look at these percents and double them. A male swimmer who participates for at least 3 full seasons has a 15.4% risk of injury. A female swimmer's risk is 18.2%. And now let's look at how we could compare these two risks as a percent. If we were to calculate the difference, subtract 9.1% minus 7.7%, and see a difference of 1.4%, that difference should be called percentage points. When we talk about a percent change, it means a relative change, that we compare an amount to some original amount with a fraction. A difference is just an absolute change, and so we would want to use percentage points, which means this was the absolute change, or the absolute difference. So an appropriate sentence could be, a woman's risk of injury is 1.4 percentage points higher than men. A different statement would be, a woman's risk of injury is some percent higher than men. Phrasing it this way means we need to calculate an actual relative difference. We see that we're comparing it to men, this 1.4% difference, compared to the male risk of 7.7%. And we see the decimal about 0.1818, it repeats, so that is about 18.2%. So this sentence would need to use 18.2% to describe the percent higher that a woman's risk of injury is. Because although the difference is just 1.4%, compare that to what the risk for men is already, it's just 7.7%. So a 1.4% percentage point increase is a pretty significant part of what it already is. It's actually 18.2% of the current risk. So the statement of what percent higher needs to be a relative difference calculated this way. The absolute difference of 1.4 percentage points, and in this sentence, compared to the risk for men.